Gentleman from Alabama for 5 minutes, Mr. Rogers.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I want to go back to this pre-planning event with the White House. You said that y'all mutually agreed to not have a person from the White House staff at the checkpoint. Who suggested that at that meeting?
I don't know that, sir.
Do you know who was in that meeting?
I do not.
Can you get us the information of who was in that meeting?
Yes, sir.
For the pre-planning?
Yes.
Also, I'd like to ask, in follow-up Ms. Norton's questions about when this came to your attention, it's my understanding from a Washington Post story that the night of the event, during the state dinner, a Roxanne Roberts, who was at the event, went over to a White House staffer and told them that they didn't believe when the Salahis were announced that they were not supposed to be there. Were you aware of that?
I am aware of that.
Did you read that story?
Yes.
Can you tell us anything about that conversation and what it yielded?
You know, we did read that, and that is part of our investigation, which I cannot get into.
So you don't know, or you can't tell us if that White House staffer that was informed about the Salahis did or did not go to a Secret Service agent and communicate that information?
No, sir, I cannot comment on that.
Okay. You talked earlier about not being on the list, that in the past there have been events where a staffer would come over and say, yeah, we want to go ahead and let them in.
No, and again, and that's not as much about an event, but just somebody might come to the again, a congressperson or a friend of the family may come to the White House at some time during the day wanting to get in. Our officers will always call to the appropriate people to find out if in fact this person has been invited. They may not be on a list, but clearly because of their friendship, because of their position, because that they are known to the family or that they do have a legitimate reason to be there, we're not going to turn those people away. We're going to work with the staff and make sure that we get those people in. I mean, I think we have to have some level of common sense here that there are people that have a legitimate reason to be there. The staff wants them in there. They have a meeting and they just somehow didn't get on a list. We're going to ensure that we get those people through.
Well, I understand that in a daytime setting, but in a large venue event, whether it's, and you would think at the White House it would be the easiest to adhere to those protocols that you talked about earlier. But as you mentioned, there are many venues away from the White House where, you know, the thought of somebody being waved in by a staffer is frightening. Because we don't know who that staffer is and what their background is and what their connections may be.
Well, but again, this would be, sir, I mean, this would be, again, this is more the exception. It's for those people that we both agree, yes, in fact, that they should come in. Both parties are both confident that that person should be in. And if I gave the impression that we did this for parties or a state dinner, I apologize because that wasn't my intent. My intent is that there are people who show up at the White House on occasion, mainly during the day, mainly for a business reason, that if they need to get in, we're going to work with the staff and we're going to ensure that they're allowed to get in.
Well, I think Ms. Norton raised a good point a little while ago when she emphasized that this has probably happened many times. Is that not a...
What has happened many times?
That what happened at this state dinner has probably happened many times. We just didn't know about it because they didn't post it on their Facebook and go out and brag about it. We've probably had other people.
I would say absolutely not. I would say that this is an aberration. Again, we take our protection duties very, very seriously. Protecting the White House is our #1 priority, and I do not believe, I know, that this has not happened many times before or any times before.
Well, I hope not. This is a pretty scary scenario when you think about the President of the United States being exposed to somebody who just walked in off the street. And, you know, you made a statement earlier that you felt like the President was not in danger. Well, maybe in this case, but the fact is these people could have been bad guys who could have been carrying biological or chemical agents on them. The President could have been in danger. Just because they didn't have a gun that was revealed from a magnetometer does not mean that he or the Vice President or the Prime Minister were not in danger. I would like to think going forward in the future that no person who was not on the list could get into the White House, no matter what staffer tried to wave them through, because you do have these pre-event protocols that are followed for a reason. But I'd love to hear your response to the danger they may or may not have been exposed to without the party crasher having a gun or a knife.
You know, sir, the chem bio issue you brought up, I'd be more than happy to address that in a classified briefing. You know, but those are countermeasures that we do take into account. Again, I would not want to talk about those in here. Make no doubt about it, I am not trying to minimize the fact regarding the danger here. I don't like what happened. I didn't want to, none of us want to see that happen here. But I am confident in our levels of security, in our men and women that are protecting the President in close proximity to him, in all the situations we put him in. Sir, we travel all over the country. It is very difficult protecting a President in a democracy.
Right.
And, it's our job to make sure that that person is able to get out their agenda, get out their message, and have access to people. And we deal with these type of situations every day. As it's been said, if we had our way, we'd put them in a bubble. We know we can't do that. And we want to make sure that we're able to get that person out there, no matter who it is, and allow them to get out their message, allow them to get out their agenda. And I will tell you that we do it every day. We have to let people have access to them, but we do have people that are prepared to react to any type of threat in their close proximity.
Thank you.
And I'm not confident in our people.